Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Exactly what we said was gonna happen. Happened. I told y'all this was a bear trap. Called it. I drew it out yesterday. Way before it happened. Easy as hell. All you had to do was be patient, right? That's all you had to do today was be patient. So let's go over a quick game plan. Or recap first. Recap first what happened. And then yeah, see if we can get a little game plan, man. Let's keep this thing going, man. So first off, yeah, remember yesterday we went over the fact that this was looking like a bear trap, right? And then I used the example of this smaller time frame bear trap to just show you guys exactly what that would look like, right? So we have here, all right, just a little recap real quick. Bang, right? So remember I said, all right, we got the, you got the breakout consolidation, right? You got a nice breakout, and then a failure underneath the bottom, and then a squeeze to take out that recent swing high, right? That's what I pointed out. And then, I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep doing this. Then I pointed out the same thing, right, on the higher time frames, right? I pointed out the fact that you had the little breakout consolidation, right? Breakout, retest, doubled underneath, squeezed, took out the highs, right? And what did we hit? We hit the highs. Nice little squeeze into the day. I did take some zeros towards the end. Yeah, hold on. We had to smack. We had to, yeah. We had to, you know what I'm saying? We had to do a little ooh-wee. So, yeah, literally yesterday I pointed this out. I said, I even posted the smaller time frame ones. I posted both of them, and I was like, hey, here's your levels for tomorrow. And I said, see how familiar this is. Literally drew it all out for you. So posted it, drew it. We even went live today, and I told you guys, I said, hey, just because it's starting to look like it's selling, it's probably just the algorithms that's building in order to push us higher, right? So we boom, 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 did it here, build some liquidity, did it here to push up, right? If we do it again, we just, you know what I'm saying? You don't fight the algorithm unless you see aggressive selling, which we never really got any continuation, any aggressive downside. So, and I even said was that once we broke above this high, or not the high, my fault, this support, right? Remember we zoom out, always zoom out. This is daily resistance up here. So it is, like I said, you do got to be patient with it. And because this is a daily level, obviously nothing's going to happen on, 5-10 minutes. It's just not how it works. So you had to zoom out and be a lot more patient with this one today. So that's why even when I went live, I just was like, hey, I hope by me being live right now, I'm telling y'all to not waste your buying power. Do not waste your buying power, right? If you're going to go long, buy time, right? Because we had an opening pump and it was fine, right? But all this consolidation, you didn't want to just be, you know what I'm saying, get into those zeros. And we got hit zeros a few times. But anyway, game plan played out, got some good profit today. So where do we go next, right? So now that we broke the high towards the end of the day, overnight, we really want to see if this 710 to 710, or really just 710, really anything above 710, right? Roughly 710, yeah. So flat number 710, if anything can hold over 710, going into tomorrow, right? Let's say we gap up, or even really just gap flat, right? Always remember, mark where we closed off, so your previous day's close will be right there, previous day's lows, and then yeah, just make sure that we don't lose anything under this really 708.75 again, right? Because even if we come back down here, we still can bounce anything above kind of that 708.75. It can go both ways, and especially I think we got Tesla earnings. Let me check on that real quick. I don't know if that will I don't know if that will affect SPY or not, but yeah, remember we are getting pretty high up here. So, and this is why I've been so big on just buying time, right? Or being patient and waiting for the end of day move, or just waiting for the one move, because things can flip quickly, right? They can flip very quickly. So like I said, we just want to get a little piece of it, take our money on, and run. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, so we did that. Yeah. So let's go. Where's pre-market high? Or not pre-market high? All-time high. Right. So all-time high right up here, right? 712. And if we take this out at any point, we're still going to want to see at least some sort of pullback and hold over 710, 711, right? So anything kind of up here, you need to see this start to hold, because any kind of fade back below, like I said, that's 708.75, you do kind of risk. Obviously, we had a gap close that we didn't close today. Let's actually turn this on real quick. Right, you had a gap that we didn't close all the way down here. You still got this gap right here as well, so be careful, right? Be careful. Even look at the daily. All right, hold on. the daily. Even the daily, it's still closed inside of this daily candle still. So yeah, we still got to be careful with that, because if we're not breaking out of the candles, then it's just chopping inside of it. And we did have the fake yesterday, but we hot stove reaction, gapped up, little dip, pop, close strong. But we would still need to take out the top of this wick, which is still all time highs. So yeah, don't jump the gun on this. But that's why I said earlier when we were on the live, I'm like, hey, just buy time, right? We're at 708. I'm like, just buy time, right? Just buy some time, because as long as you got a right contract, and you'll still be able to make profit. So yeah, you don't always got to be 0 DTs. Obviously, we did this, so it's okay. It's good if the market consolidates for us, right? We like that. We appreciate the consolidation. So yeah, be careful, because we still are, like I said, this daily. This whole zone, this whole red channel is you got to be careful up here. But it did hold today, right? The bottom of the channel did actually hold. So if we do and we continue to push, we probably come up, test a high. So anywhere between really around 715 to 718 ish. So we can definitely come up here again if we slow grind, kind of what we did. So if we continue that, obviously upside is price discovery, right? So we're all time high. So anything above all time highs, like I said, make sure you're trimming into this upper resistance, because you don't want to get caught, right? You don't want to get too long where you're just blindly buying calls every day, not knowing what you're looking for, and then we get a 2% just dump day or something, right? So make sure you're not sizing any heavier than you normally would. Make sure your rules are the same. Keep up with your stop losses. Respect your levels, right? If this level breaks, then I'll do this, right? Have a game plan before you get in, right? Obviously, we can't trade it. We just did, but we still have a game plan. We still have levels. Like, hey, if this level, I think my level today, once we broke, was 709.40, I believe. Was my stop around 709.40? Yeah, right here. So any close below, I was like, hey, I'm probably gonna have to, cut the rest of those ones, right? Because we had them, they went green, but it's like you don't wanna take that risk of them going green and red. So any close below that, I definitely would have just went ahead and got out. So we got upside targets. Now let's talk about downside risk, which everybody kind of wants us to go downside. Yeah, so let's say this fails, right? Or even if, let's just say this is an inverse head and shoulder, and they want to pick up some more liquidity before we go. We can still, we can still come down here and do this. We're still stuck in between this range, and that's why I drew this box around it, because this is the open and close of Friday's candle. So we're still in it. Well, we closed outside of it, right? So if we get back inside of Friday's candle, you still got, like I said, you still got gaps below. Anything below 705 or 706, if we get under there at any point, I'm probably gonna chill, right? As far as going long, because this one was okay, cool. We got this one, look like a little bear trap. We'll take that one. But if we get back under again, yeah, now you got to be careful of that 700, 702 downside range. Yeah, definitely gonna need to be more patient. Honestly, you have to just always be patient, because it's just we're all time highs, so we don't know how high we can squeeze, right? We don't know how long the squeeze can happen. You feel me? You gotta just go with it, right? And if it wants to go and squeeze, go to 723 and then dump, then we'll bank till 723, right? We'll just play either side. So make sure you got your levels, play your levels. Today was it was slow, but it did still do what it was supposed to do, right? You had your breakout, you had your retest, all right, and then you had your continuation. So the pump into the end was actually pretty nice candle. I got out at 65%. I don't know exactly what the zeros went to, but yeah, so definitely be careful under 708, 75, right? That could lead more downside back to the 706, 705 range. Anything under there, you got to be very careful, right? Watch for Tuesday's low, and then obviously watch for that gap close down to 701. And then of course your psychological 700 level. If they really wanted to dump it, they could lose 700, roll it back down to the 695 to 696 range, right? So like I said, play it level to level, just give it time. Charts always reveal itself, right? So don't get caught up in the wicks. That's why I was saying today on the live, like you gotta trade every 5 seconds. You gotta be in a trade. This sometimes, like today, and this is why I stayed on live so long, to show y'all, look, we can just sit in here and chat. Like we just don't be in a trade just because you feel like you need to be in a trade, right? Because if you turn off the wicks, a lot of the stuff is didn't really do anything, right? You turn off the wicks. Look, you turn off the wicks. We already established what our channel was, right? If we didn't break it, what were we going to trade it for, right? And the best time we did get the calls is when we came to the bottom of it, right? Because this was our breakout. This is where we finally got the retest. So we had multiple reasons why we broke out. Excuse me. So in the first test usually is the best test. So we were going to see, let's put that to the test, right? That, and then boom, bottom of the channel, target top of the channel. We ended up getting it in like 3 candles or something like that. Hold on. Let me see. I got to pull up the exact. You know me, I'm always keep some receipts. Yeah, I'm always keep that. Let me see. Yeah, we pulled it. And then literally it was like a 3-minute trade. And it just instantly just went. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Right here. I said this has to hold. And this is when I went on. Seven 709 or 706.9. What was that level I just said? 70 something 40. 709.40, right? So that's what that was. So that was a 709.40 level that I called out. And then literally instantly right after that happened, right? I draw the box. I'm like, all right, cool. This got a hold here. Watch the bam, and then instantly we get the. Let's sort on here. Instantly we get the, you know what I'm saying, the little beep beep beep. Right? We got the little breakout. You know, we got the little breakout retest. So instantly after that, that was a smooth trade. And like I said, once you get your profit, once you hit your target, just chill out, man. You don't always gotta catch everything every single time. It is what it is, right? If you miss a play, what do you do? Right? We have to say, what do you do? Right? We don't know. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. There's always gonna be tomorrow. There's always gonna be another play. Who cares, right? And besides, as long as you made something, you're good, right? Or even if you lost, as long as you understood where you went wrong, you all right, cool, mentally reset. Try again tomorrow, right? Literally, your life can change in 10 days. You don't know, you know what I'm saying? So just be patient with it. Be okay with the losses. Be okay with the dubs. Be okay with everything that comes with it, right? So, yeah, we got our upside targets. Like I said, anything over 708.90 and 711. Really today's close. So anything over 708.80 in today's close. Anything in here, we can continue up. Probably not that high, right? But anything in here, probably continue up. Either here we roll, maybe at 713 or 715. So really anywhere in between these two top ranges, I'm looking for upside. Like I said, downside, remember, anything in here, leave it alone. Under 708, 75, under 705, we watch for downside, got gaps closed below. So yeah, mark your levels, previous day highs, previous day close, previous day lows, right? So mark those. Yeah, keep it simple. And yeah, let's get this man. Let's keep locking it in. I'll see y'all.